Hey everyone. Today I want to talk about a day trip tour that I did with Rabbie's Tour Company from Aberdeen. It's the Northeast Coast and fishing villages. It's a day tour, leave in the morning, come back in the evening. The Rabbie's company uses what they refer to as mini coaches. It's like a large van, small bus, very comfortable, 16 seats altogether. Double seats on one side of the bus, single seats on the other. There are 3 steps, not very big, up into the bus. Pretty easy to do with a cane. There's stuff to hold on to as you're stepping into the bus. They have all of the measurements for the steps, the height and everything on their website, which is pretty cool. You can see the exact measurements and see if it's something that you're comfortable doing. I did not have any trouble at all. I will talk about the different stops and the accessibility of them as we go through the video. I have some photos that show some of the paths and the surfaces that you will be walking on. If you have any concerns at all, reach out to Rabbie's before your tour. They have contact information on their website and they are happy to help you. So, the Rabbie's Northeast Highland Coastal Trail and Fishing Villages tour leaves from the bus station in the city center. It was Stance 5 when I took the tour. And it goes to Spey Bay. It was the first stop. This is an estuary. It's home to a lot of seabirds. It is a shingle beach. This can be very difficult to walk on if you are walking with a cane. The rocks vary in size from pebbles to some that are almost as big as the size of your head. You have to climb up over a little rise and then down the other side to actually get to the water. There's plenty of stuff to look at without doing that. They do have a museum and a gift shop there and restrooms. So there's still a lot of stuff to do, even if you don't feel comfortable climbing up and down the rocks to get to the actual water itself. And I have some photos so you can judge for yourself if this is something that you might be able to do. The next stop is Port Knocky, and you'll be able to see Bow Fiddle Rock. The path across the top of the little cliffs there is actually very doable with a cane. It's dirt, it's pretty level, and it's wide enough to walk comfortably with your cane. There are other paths all the way down to the beach and to the water. I declined to do that when I was there because the grass and the path was wet and fairly slippery. And I decided to act with discretion instead of valor. And I stayed on the top of the cliffs. The views are beautiful, and there's plenty to see without going all the way down to the beach. It was definitely very interesting. The next stop is Cullen. I do not have photos of Cullen. This is your lunch stop. And I took the tour on a Saturday, and everywhere was fairly busy for lunchtime. And that ate up enough of my time that I did not feel comfortable doing a whole lot of walking around. I suggest maybe eating at one of the places that has like takeaway, and then you could take your food down to the beach or somewhere to sit and maybe take photos while you were eating and stuff. There are hills. This is not a level town. I didn't do a whole lot of walking around because I wasn't sure how long it was going to take me, and I didn't want to make everybody else wait on me. So just use your time wisely at Cullen and figure out what's most important to you, having a really nice lunch or having time to walk around. When you stop there, they tell you exactly how long it'll be before they come back and pick you up. They give you a time, and just judge for yourself what all you're able to do. After the stop at Cullen, and the next one is Port Soy. This is has one of the oldest harbors on the Moray coast, and it was pretty easy to walk around. I have some photos of that as well. After the stop at Port Soy, you make a stop at Bullers of Buchan. This was also pretty easy to get to with my cane. The path is a little narrower than some of the others and a little more up and down, but it was easy to do even when the ground was wet with a cane. The views are beautiful and there's lots of plants and things as well as the sea views. The final stop on the tour is Slains Castle. There is a bit of a walk from the parking lot to the castle. It is a very wide path. It is very flat and certainly very easy to do with a cane. When I did this tour, it was my first full day in Scotland. I had flown in the day before, and on the way out to the castle, I could tell that I was wearing down a little bit. My joints were starting to hurt, and I did not make it all the way out to the castle. I got close enough to take pictures from a distance and took pictures of the cliffs. The view of the sea from there is amazing. And I did thoroughly enjoy myself, even though I didn't make it all the way out to the castle. My tour guide assured me that they would wait on me, but I knew it was going to take me a while and it was probably going to be pretty sore by the time I got back to the bus. So I opted not to go all the way out to the castle. Fortunately, some of my fellow tourists showed me their pictures. I got to see their photos of the inside and see what I had missed out on. If I had planned it a little better, maybe given myself a day to rest before I did this tour, I probably would have been able to make it all the way out. I have some photos of the castle and the path, and you can see what it's like and judge for yourself if you think that you could walk it comfortably with whatever your abilities are. There are things to look at and do if you don't want to make it all the way out to the castle. The path is beautiful. It goes by a creek. There's lots of trees and plants and things to look at. There are restrooms as well at that stop. And when you get there, the tour guide will explain to you what your options are and set you on the right path out to the castle. All in all, it was a pretty doable trip, even walking with a cane, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I highly recommend Rabbie's tours to anybody. Definitely very, very interesting.